Hey guys, my name is Rudy, and my channel is all about doing stuff and things. I do stuff on VR, on 1UP, and my favorite, airplane stuff. I'm a bit of a fan, as you can tell. So today we're going to talk about the TCA Airbus Untitled Quadrant add-on. Showed up in the mail. So we're going to check this out. I'm going to give you my reviews on it, what I think should be done differently, what I like, what I don't like, and more. I'm also going to show you how to join everything back together, but since I already had a video on the main one, I'm going to go over that a little faster than the add-on. This is what it's all about today. So, first off, I have to say that my opinions are my own, not the reflection of my employer, and Thrustmaster did not sponsor me in any shape or form. So, here we go. This is the add-on. I've been trying to find this for a year now, and I want to point out really quick that you can actually find this now, because on eBay, this is overpriced at like $220-something, where the regular price is like $109. Right now, I'm seeing stocks coming back, and places like mypilotstore actually have it for that price, which is really awesome. And I finally got it, so here's what it's all about. So packaging, kind of cool, this new way of packaging. So what this is for some of us who really want to be in there, we wanted just more than the throttle kit, which was right here in the center. So we wanted the speed brake and the flap handle. And this is what we're getting. So, package opens up. They have it put together here. And the way this works is down here on the bottom, this mates to your throttles by a special SATA cable. And it holds it in place by these 4 screws here. Comes with the package is your SATA cables and also your clips down here on the bottom. So let's go through this real quick here. Now I have to admire that these guys are putting stuff like this together. I'm a big airplane guy. The size is perfect. It's a little smaller than the average one, and but it does have some interesting things on here. The trim switch up here is perfect. That's the way it is. It's a different spot. One of the first things I notice is the parking brake here. The parking brake here on this one rotates and clicks. On the Airbus, it requires it to be pulled out and turned. Landing gear handle, that's cool to have. What I don't understand about this is the auto braking here. This right here seems more like the Boeing style auto braking, where it's got disarm, BTV, which is brake to vacate, low, 2, 3, and high. The Airbus itself, the 320s, and actually, yeah, 320s and 330s, with the exception of the 330-600, have low, medium, and high buttons, like the regular push buttons. So this is more of a Boeing feature. The only thing I've seen like this is I saw this on the A340-600, where they have a dial like this. So maybe that's what they modeled it after. Next, we have the speed brake. This means if you're coming in too fast, you can bring it all the way up. And in the real airplane, before takeoff, you pull it up. So if you had to stop, it would arm the spoilers as soon as a sudden stop is detected. Also, coming in for landing, same thing, you would pull it up to arm it. And if you're coming in and you need to slow down, you would just pull it back. Now, these here, the steps are a little bit more, if you can hear it, a little bit more precise than the real thing. The Airbus moves a little smoother, but that's perfectly fine. What is missing is the pull up over here to pull the switch out to arm the spoilers. That's not in here. Now we're going to go to the flaps here. Flap handle. So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which again is accurate to the real thing. One thing that's a little strange here is the way this is moved, and I'll show you on my other model here, is normally when flaps are selected to keep from getting accidentally bumped, this part down here gets actually moved up. So you pull it towards you to engage the different flap settings. I think they could have done that with some teeth over here. And what I mean by that, I'll show you. Like I said, I'm a bit of an aviation geek, and I 3D built this sucker here. The video for assembling, 3D printing this thing would be way too long, but this is my project. So, throttle handles, reversers, it moves, it's got potentiometers on it. What I wanted to show you is, well, mine doesn't have anything at all here on the speed brakes. It just moves back and forth, and it also doesn't arm. But my flaps do. So you can't move that flap panel just by itself. So you would lift it up over here like this, select the flap settings, and it falls into the place of where it needs to go. And that's how you change the flaps here. That was one of my start switches that just fell. And I also modified it with this landing gear. If you're interested more about this, shoot me a comment below. I can do another video on this one if you're interested. Like I said, I wanted to have a real one, and then I realized that Thrustmaster made one. Now, what's really cool if you compare this to this one here is mine is rather big. It takes a lot of space, and it's a good size. Theirs is a lot smaller, and I think it's more friendly to put on a computer desk or even in a full flight. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to join all this stuff together. So, this is what gets joined. This is the Airbus Thrustmaster Clear for Takeoff Collection. TCA Officer Pack Airbus. Mine came with the stick as well as the throttles. Packages out there show it also being available with just the throttles or just the stick. And you can also join 2 throttle sets to make like a 340 or a 380 configuration. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. That one, if you do it that way, with 4 throttles, you do have to have 2 USB cables. But you do still connect everything the same way that I showed you with the SATA. Okay, same style boxing. Big box here. A lot of this stuff's going back order. Looks like these guys finally found a way to get some more stock in, which is awesome. Next for me will be the 787 yoke. I'll be reviewing that as well. I just placed that on order, and I think that will get here sometime in next year, I hope too. Anyway, here's what it kind of looks like in the cockpit. I'm not sure if you guys are really into this stuff. I'm assuming that you are since you're watching. But unlike a Boeing aircraft, the Airbus actually has its controllers on the side here. Okay, same thing with this setup. Same type of packaging. They're probably environmentally friendly, which is good. And with this package, you get the USB cable, instructions, now this looks about the same size, doesn't it, as the previous unit. What they did here is, we'll go over this first. And my other video has more detail of this, but I thought they did a really good job with this. So you got the crank starts here, the ignition starts, and these 2 are buttons. And you got, of course, you got the engine masters for engine 1, 2, or since the video is a little bit backwards, it'll be 2 and 1. And what's cool about this is it's got the reversers in. So the reversers allow you to go back all the way for thrust reversers. You got the autopilot disconnect switches here. I'm sorry, auto throttle disconnects. And let's talk about putting this thing together. Oh, before we do that, let's talk about the stick as well. So I've been searching for this, and I'm the kind of person who has I like to have force feedback and all the other stuff, but I was willing to give that up for my Airbus time because this stick is actually really, really nice. It feels like the real Airbus stick, with the exception of the hat switch on top here. It does have the pick a button, and these two buttons here, or these two areas here, these two panels, this one here and this one here, can be switched whether you're flying captain or first officer. I got mine set up for the captain side. You got several buttons here on the side you can assign, and you got like a throttle here. I'm going to figure out what I want to use that for in a later video. But it's a pretty solid piece. And then, you know, you got the microphone here. The autopilot disconnect. And I'm not really sure what this one here does. Anyway, so let's talk about putting all this together. So we're going to make these units into one. All you really need is a screwdriver. So I'm going to put the throttles up here. These two are mated together, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew that first. And I am doing this for the first time right here. So if I mess this up, so what I'm doing is I'm unbuttoning undoing the 4 screws on the second clamp back here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the first. Okay, that knocks them loose here. Make sure I don't drop them. And they don't have any kind of a hold on the screws, so the screws will fall out. There's nothing to guard them. Maybe that's something that should have been done on that one too, but I figure most people are not gonna do anything with this. Now remember, keep in mind this is gonna be a little bit backwards here. So my speed brake is gonna be right here like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna attach the clamp set back to it. One screw, here's the next. Clamps are plastic, but they do feel pretty solid. I don't think there's really any issues with that. That can't possibly be straight, so let's see here. That's interesting. The second set in. I think I got it cross-threaded or something here on the other side. This one here is a lot tighter. Maybe they want us to use the other set of screws here. Yeah, that does not feel very secure. We'll look at see what sets they gave on the other set. So what I did right now is I went ahead and I put in the 2 for this side, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the parts that came in from the original set. Okay, so what you got with the original set is you got 2 SATA cables, and the screws look exactly the same. So let's see if there's any difference in how this goes on onto the other set here. Let's see why I can get this better way to get it in here. That really didn't feel very solid. Drop it in. Maybe the screws have to be worked in, or maybe I need a bigger screwdriver to get that seated in. I think the answer is I do need a bigger screwdriver, so I'll make that a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so you screw this in, and then so here, down on the bottom, there's a little set of feet. You can actually pop the plastic right out, the rubber piece, revealing, you can see them say to plug. So I'm going to plug in one side here. There's only one way to put it in. And the other side goes in this way. And this is going to make me look like a liar. Hang on a second. There we go. So that goes in, and aha, okay. They cross. The one from here, this side, actually goes all the way to the other side. And the cable is just the perfect size to kind of snap in. I don't know if you can see that. But they go in like this. That alleviates any slack problems. So that's this. And now we're going to attach the flaps, parking brake, and rudder trim. So we'll flip this over again. And this is the ones that you have to use. The add-on that I just reviewed first only comes with one set of the plastic tabs, and one set came with the throttles themselves. What's funny is that it came with 4 screws, so no spares, but we're good. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to secure, again, the flaps over here, the little tabs. Make sure this doesn't wander off on me. So it pops in pretty nicely and easily. I think I'm just going to have to use a bigger screwdriver to tighten this down. That's the first one. Here's the second one. Make sure I got this right. It looks like these, when they built this, a lot of this stuff is dual purpose. As you can see on the back here, you can switch it to another. It's got the same tabs on the opposite end, even though you'd never use that. Use one side for if it was a a speed brake, and the other side is flaps. So I'm going to put it in. It's going to lock in. I'm going to put the 2 side screws here in. And I guarantee you that they're not going to be this loose when I crank them down a little bit more. Okay, we'll pretend this one's locked in completely. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the connector on the center, lock it in place, move it to the outboard, lock it in place. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a full-blown Airbus throttle set. Throttle quadrant. So, speed brakes, throttles, reversers, flaps, and then, of course, brakes, landing gear, engine masters, 2 buttons on the side. I'm assuming that would probably show if there's a fire. We'll find out, or maybe they're just assignable buttons. And you got the crank and the auto start. So like I said, what do I think? I think this is actually pretty cool, with the exception of, I wish they would have put armed the speed brake, be able to arm it. And the flaps, they should have been able to click into place, not just kind of be able to bump them like this. That's the whole purpose. If you look at any product, such as even the Boeings, they also have a system, McDonnell Douglas, that you have to twist the flaps in to get them to different settings. You can't just accidentally bump into that. Well, guys, that's it. It's been a great year for videos. Next year, I hope to do more. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. And until next time, take care.